Hello everyone, testing, audio good. Seeing as we also always have some kind of issue at the start. Hello, everything okay? Notification from YouTube, hey, heads up, we've detected video in your stream belonging to someone else. Your stream may be temporarily blocked. If you plan to continue, ensure that the content owner has added your channel to their allow list. I don't know what the hell you are talking about, YouTube. Audio is good, wonderful. First time for everything. How are we, everyone? Cockroach Roy, hello. Happy to be back. Glad to have you here. And yes, baking streams, always fun. A little bit nerve-wracking. Things can go wrong, but you know, part of the fun, I guess. Rowan Ellis, hi. Blueberry Muffins sound so delicious. These ones are fantastic. Like, not to brag, but I made them before myself, and yeah, they were so good. Because obviously I held a poll for this on the Discord asking whether to make blueberry muffins or madeleines, and I'll be honest, I'm kind of glad that the blueberry muffins won. It was close to being 50-50, in which case I probably would have flipped a coin and then lied about blueberry muffins winning. At least I'm honest about lying. Mega Ron TV, Ron. Nold. I can't think of a pun right now. I'm sure I could. Give me like 5 minutes. Ron Air. I don't know. That was so bad. How you doing, Ron? Yeah, by the way, if right now Ron's partner is having some medical issues, I believe they have impacted wisdom teeth, but the bill for the surgery that needs to be done is astronomical. So if you look in the self-promotions and boosting section of the Discord, you can contribute to a GoFundMe that started there. It would be very much helpful to them because, you know, American healthcare is busted. Yeah, no problem. As long as you don't say Ronald McDonald or Ronald Reagan. I wouldn't do those because I'm pretty sure Ronald McDonald would have been like the thing that you've heard throughout your entire life. And Ronald Reagan is one of the worst things that's ever happened to this world, so I couldn't be that cruel. Background sound is still going on. You're talking about like the just ambiance or something like that? So sad I wasn't the deciding vote on the madeleines. Well, what I will do, I'm still gonna make the madeleines at some point because yeah, madeleines are great. I even have the tray to make them. In fact, the picture that you saw in the Discord, that was the ones that I'd made previously, as were the blueberry muffins as well. But yeah, that's probably next baking stream. I'm gonna make the madeleines as well. Yuri is down here looking at me. You wanna come up? Come on. Up. You're too high. Come on. You know what? Here. There we go. You get center stage. Ron Swanson is one I'm good with though. Yeah, if I got the Ron Swanson, my only issue there would be is that Ron Swanson's a massive libertarian and that's like this fun character, but you know. Yeah, say hi to Curie, everyone. Hey. Try not to get fur everywhere, you know. One sec. Once again, I was late in putting in my eye drops today, so give me 1 second while I apply these. I've been very hurried. Well, that was a miss. There, that was too much. There we go. Eyeballs, lubricated. All right. Curie, you can't be there. It's unsanitary. OSHA sees, I'll be in trouble. Okay. Put goggles on. This is so awkward working around the Curie. Oh my god. You need to stay, you agent of chaos. She's so confused. She knows what she's doing. Myrna Loy once said about Ronald Reagan that he lived up to her expectations, which were not great in the first place. You know, one of my favorite quotes or tidbits about a politician that I've heard, I can't remember who said it, but it was a Republican politician being asked, why does everyone immediately hate Ted Cruz? And he replied, because it saves time. And I'm like, I love that, that's great. Bravo to you. Luna, hello, how are you doing? Also, Yoshi, hello to you as well. I missed you back there. Hey yo, how are you doing? Well, let's shift you up a bit so we can share some space. Is that good with you? Why are you looking there? Okay. Okay, so yeah, why is Ted Cruz still a thing? Like, it's baffling to me how, like, a man who is such a failure can be so resoundingly successful. Okay, you gotta go now. Sorry. Let me close the screen. Curie, my god. Oh. Be gone. I've just cleaned the surface. Anyway. Let me wash my hands real quick since I've been handling a cat. Sorry, I have slightly elevated anxiety levels today. A lot going on. Oh yeah, I've finished the new video. It's going to be uploaded for patrons and YouTube members soon. So if you do want to see the new video early without ads, become a YouTube member and you'll be able to see it. And you'll get those fancy emotes. Yeah, I haven't heard of Myrna Loy before either. Do the cool thing that chefs do where they toss it over the shoulder. Hang on a sec. Alright, I got a text earlier trying to stay on top of things. Okay. Yes, the new the fancy emotes. People don't use these emotes enough. I paid to have these emotes made. You all better use them. Right, there's also people outside like doing lawn work for the apartment complex and everything, so if you hear any loud noises, that's it. I do the old towel over the shoulder trick too. That's the thing, like, I've done it before, but like rarely do I ever like actually need it or anything. Myrna Loy is a yesteryear classic Hollywood actress. It does sound like the name of an old style actress or actor in Hollywood, definitely. Makes me slices more accurate. Debatable. Oh yeah, so yeah, the video is done. I just gotta export it and upload it, and then it should be available. I should have it available later this evening, actually. But yeah, it's a fun one where, as I mentioned previously, talking about how music and media as a whole, but as a focus on music, has become somewhat disposable in that we have such a large amount of it that's given to us so frequently to the point where it makes it so that new music and new media that is given to us doesn't have the staying power to stay within our public consciousness for a long enough amount of time for it to mean anything. And so, you know, a lot of like modern music artists, even though they could be like ridiculously popular today, like getting billions of views on YouTube and listens on Spotify, Apple Music, etc. At the same time, you got to think like, where are these people going to be in 20, 30, 40, 50 years time? Like, are they going to be brought up in conversations like people such as Prince or Jimi Hendrix, David Bowie, etc.? People that changed the musical landscape, became legends. And I think, no, I don't think there will be. I don't think people like, you know, your Taylor Swifts of the world will be brought up in those sentences. I'm sure some people would like to argue that Kanye West would be, but fuck Kanye West. He's an anti-Semite and a piece of shit. Also, if I'm being fully real with you here, Kanye hasn't made any good music since My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. After that, garbage. It just is. His best stuff was, what was it? Late Registration and College Dropout, and that was it. Well, not that was it. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy was really good, but after that, I remember actually recently, well, it wasn't recently, it was like when the last Kanye album came out. I was playing Final Fantasy XIV and I saw some people in the chat talking about it. And they were just like, oh, have you listened to it? It's like, yeah, I've been listening to it, you know, a few times today. And this person said, I've been listening to it for 6 hours straight and I'm starting to like it. I was like, all right, I get the idea of like trying to, you know, learn to love an album, which I actually talk about this in the video. Like I talk about, you know, first listen isn't always perfect. But if you've been listening to an album for 6 hours straight, back to back, that's not you learning to like the album. That's Stockholm syndrome with an album. That's forcing yourself to like something. Ooh, still hot. Northwest is iconic. You should watch her funny moments. Yeah, Northwest, is that that's a relative, right? These pants are becoming loose. Oh yeah, so, yeah, but yeah, the video out for supporters hopefully later today, and then it should be released for everyone else on Friday or this weekend, because yeah, there's already. There's so many songs coming out these days that seem designed to be played in clips for TikToks. Yes, they are. Yeah, that's one of the big problems with it really, is that you do get so many songs that are produced from the ground up to fit into TikToks. Like songs in general are much shorter. There's more of a focus around like the hook, whether that's like, you know, the chorus or something like that. And they are just packaged in such a way to make it so that there is something that will give it appeal when put into a TikTok video. And you know, even other services like Spotify are doing things where they like create snippets of songs instead of the whole thing. So yeah, a lot of the way that stuff is designed now is made to be pre-packaged in a 30-second, 1-minute video, and that's not great, really. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a short song, absolutely not. You know, I really love a lot of punk music. Like one of my favorite bands is the Ramones, and they were notoriously fast with their music. But you know, the Ramones didn't make music for TikTok. Ooh. Glass was steamed up there when I blew on my tea. And he made it 21. How are you doing? Nice to see you too. How does your day treat you? I found songs that I love one verse off and the rest is just hooks. Yeah, and that's you know, another interesting factor of that is like people who discover songs on places like TikTok, they find a song where they, much like yourself, as you just said, love the chorus, love the hook, but not the rest of it. And they're happy to just return to that segment of the song and not really explore what else is part of it. And that also has a knock-on effect too, where you will find that there's people who end up being deterred from listening to their albums. They'll be deterred from listening to their live music, like going to see them live. Yeah, there's all kinds of like byproducts of this kind of mentality. And just to make it clear as well, with all this argument, and included an argument that I make in the video, I'm not blaming the audience at all. Like, the audience isn't at fault for this. Like, the audience has been conditioned by apps and technology companies, or tech companies, to consume their media like this. Like Netflix, Spotify, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, etc. Like, all of these companies are the problem behind this kind of thing. They want continuous, fast digestion of media. And the faster it is, the more you consume, the better it works out for them, because it means they can show you ads between it all. Roy Deschanel has a video on the Tumblrification of cinema. What does it mean by that? And my wife is just arriving home. 1 second. Hello. She just got her hair did, so let me see how it is. Oh, very nice. Are you happy with it? Feels like much better. Yeah, a lot brighter. She's got very bright red hair right now. It looks lovely. She went to see a new hairdresser because her old one lives or works too far away. I forgot all about running up that hill last year. Yeah, running up the hill gets a very specific mention in that video because there was some bullshit behind that. Let me tell you about it. I didn't sleep yesterday for 24 hours, so I basically slept all day. Oof. I mean, at least he caught up for it. People talk about attention span decreasing, and honestly, it's such a cop-out. Yeah, it's, you know, I've spoke about attention spans before, and it's nothing that you can actually quantify with humans, since we're all very different on the kind of things that we pay attention to. So the argument that we have an overall lower attention span isn't true. Like, there's no way to measure that. But there is a quantifiable metric on the kind of things that we consume as media. And if you look towards like certain trends for like music in particular, you'll find that people tend to prefer shorter music now. But then, like, ironically, well, not ironically, on the other hand, you've got movies that are like blockbuster movies that are like 2.5 hours long, and sometimes 3 hours, and people won't care, they'll just go see it anyway. But funnily enough, recently there was a study where they asked people what their ideal movie length is, and it turned out that people want movies that are around, on average, 92 minutes long, which is pretty much your typical feature-length film. So despite the fact that these long-ass movies are so popular these days, people still want shorter films. And I am 100% in agreement, because I am so sick of getting movies released that are like 3.5 hours long and some shit. Like, what are you, a YouTuber? I actually get a lot of indie musicians on my TikTok page, but it does seem like a lot of musicians will, as you say, tailor their songs for a 30-second clip. Yeah, and a lot of musicians will end up doing something like releasing multiple versions of a song, like a cappella versions, instrumental versions, which can also be repurposed into something that can be included in a video, like on TikTok or YouTube Shorts, etc. I already hate movie theaters, but the movie better be really good to take 2.5 hours of my life. Absolutely, yeah. I can't stand movie theaters. I haven't actually been to the movies since 2018, and I'm perfectly fine with that. The movie-going experience is awful. Apparently there's a movement to create longer movies to almost detach. There's a movement to create a longer movie to almost detach from the movie and make it white noisy. Not sure about that. Okay, Hindi movies are ludicrously long. That is one thing I've noticed, because I tried, was interested in watching RRR, and that's like over 3 hours. And as soon as I saw that runtime, I'm like, I have stuff to do. It's hilarious because I also hate movies that are 3 hours long, but I sat through the plagiarism video in one setting, no problem. Well, there you go. And that's the weird thing, you do find audiences that are just like, what's that, 4-hour video on something I've never heard about before? Sure, I'll watch it. But then like a movie comes out that's like critically acclaimed, turns out it's like 3.5 hours long, I'm like, too long. I'm like, come on. Last movie I saw in theaters was The Color Purple. That the remake? Was that any good? I've heard that a lot of songs intentionally have dances that would be popular on TikTok. Oh, definitely. In fact, there's another thing I include in the video. Talk about how if you want a hit Netflix show, put a dance number in there and people will copy it on TikTok, like they did with Wednesday. Wednesday's success was heavily contingent on the fact that Wednesday Addams had a whole dance number in it. Everyone watched that H-Bomber Guy video because it served drama. You know, there is truth to that. It's YouTube. There's drama. Drama sells very, very easily on YouTube. But you know, the thing is with long things, whether it's a YouTube video or a movie, so long as it's well made. I think the good metric of a long product, like a lengthy product, is it shouldn't feel as long as it actually is. Now, with my videos, I intentionally write them and edit them in such a way that I, as a person with ADHD, would be able to sit through and not get too distracted by. And that means I keep up the pacing. I make sure that all of the segments of the video flow from one thing to another, that it feels seamless. You know, there's no like breaks or anything like that really. So whenever I do something, if I make like a 40-minute video, I want it to feel like a 30-minute video. If I make like an hour video, I want it to feel like I want it to feel like 45 minutes. And it's a compliment that I've gotten from my video that I really appreciate, that they don't feel as long as they are, because that is very intentional. Because I find that like a lot of longer video essays that I've watched, or at least tried to watch, part of the reason why I couldn't digest it was because it just felt so disjointed. It felt like slow. It felt like it had too much fluff in it that wasn't really necessary. And I don't know, and I'm not insulting anyone in particular here, but you know, when the person that's delivering it is kind of like dull, lacking in energy, or you know, it's a little bit flat, that makes it harder to watch something like that. And it makes it harder to actually, you know, take in what they're saying. Zumi, hello, how are you doing? Nice to have you here. I have ADD, sometimes 4 hours, sadly too long for me for valid reasons. I tend to want to see it per 2 hours on different times a day. Yeah, that's something I've heard is like a popular thing. Me, I like to go all for it in one sitting. Like when I watched The Irishman, I sat through all 4 hours of that. It definitely could have stood to be shorter, I will say that. Is it sad the last time? I don't remember the last time I went to the movies. That's not sad, no. Like I said, last movie I went to go see in the cinema was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And ever since then, I've not felt compelled to go watch anything else. technically speaking, the 90s version of the Addams Family also had a few sequences, so Wednesdays just following tradition. It had some song sequences, but it didn't have dance numbers, and Wednesday isn't the kind of character that would be doing a dance routine. Gomez and Morticia, they did, you know, they would be doing like a, you know, a ballroom dance kind of thing. I think they do at one point. But yeah, Wednesday dancing, it's a weird one, that one. All right, so yeah. Once watching an entire an hour and a half, I think around that time, video about queues at Disney World. It's surprisingly very interesting. See, something like that, I could see there being an interesting element to it, because there's so many things that happen in Disneyland, Disney World, that are kind of unique. You know, like they have like all different tips and tricks to their theme park that are, you know, different from a lot of other ones. So I think learning stuff like that is pretty interesting. Oh, there's Kiri again. All right, we're here to bake. So yeah, blueberry muffins, our ingredients that we're going to be going over. These are Jordan Marsh style blueberry muffins. Now, I went over this in the Discord yesterday, but Jordan Marsh is an old department store in the US, and one of their most popular things were these blueberry muffins. Differences between these and regular blueberry muffins is that they have a larger top on them, and it has a sugar crust on the top. It's really gorgeous texture that it adds to it. It doesn't feel soggy, it doesn't feel like too stiff of a shell or anything like that. Really wonderful. But yeah, our ingredients, what we have are, we have some butter, we have granulated sugar, 2 large eggs, we've got some baking powder, some salt, we got some vanilla extract, a bunch of flour, and the blueberries, of course, 2.5 cups of blueberries, and we're going to be using some milk and some more sugar for the topping. But this is a very, very simple recipe. And more to the point, just to illustrate how easy this is, it can pretty much be made in like 2 bowls. And as you can see, we have no stand mixer here this time. We are just going to be using a hand mixer. So if you want to make this, you don't need a fancy stand mixer. You can just use your hand or beat it with something electric. I did say sugar crust. It is a damn nice sugar crust. How many are watching now is in the side menu hidden behind the comment section. Smart. See, I prefer not to look at my view count anyway, because I end up like feeling bad when like the numbers drop. So yeah, I tend to like try to keep it hidden, but YouTube doesn't do a good job of letting me keep it hidden. Genuinely sad I'm not going to be eating these muffins at the end. I can send you the recipe. Like I said, they are very easy to make, these ones. All right, so first of all, we start off, we're going to preheat the oven, 375. And then, I don't have this recipe memorized, so I'll be referring to a sheet quite a bit here. I'm going to beat together the butter and sugar until well combined. So we have a room temperature butter here, and the sugar will be 200 grams of granulated white sugar. Come on. Oh boy, I should have emptied the trash to the brim. So, 200 grams of white sugar. Kiri is behind me. This doesn't feel awkward at all. It's a shame you're shy about being on stream, because everyone could have complimented your lovely hair. Okay, 200 grams. Okay. And yeah, we're gonna beat those together using this mixer. Remember Microsoft's answer to Twitch mixer? That died quickly. I remember I knew someone who was actually trying to make it big on Mixer, and I was like, good luck with that. Trying to catch up. Sugar butter flour. It is shockingly delicious on its own. And Curie really chooses you as a person now. Girl seems to be wanting to hang out with you together. She does, yeah. Except earlier, before you arrived, she was jumping all over the counter as I was trying to get everything ready, contaminating the zone. Need to raise this a bit. Still overhead. Oop, too fast. When you're doing this, don't do it too fast to start out with. You just want all the sugar and butter to clump together first, so you're not getting any dust as soon as you turn up the speed. Excuse me. I feel like I should have done this in a stand mixer now, just to save a bit of time. You know, partly what I've been wanting to do to encourage people to start baking themselves is to use things that are more readily available to most people. Because I know, like, you know, most people don't have a stand mixer. It tends to only really be people that are more involved with baking and cooking that have such serious equipment like that. But you know, a lot of stuff that I've been making can be made without a stand mixer. Okay. Okay, so we're going to be adding some eggs. See what's happening here. Fine, I'll make the muffins myself. Go for it and share the results on the Discord, please. Yeah, I always look forward to seeing what you all have to make. Absolutely. There's one thing I wish to achieve from doing these baking streams is to encourage other people to bake, and I genuinely do mean that. I remember being excited about Google Plus because some of my classmates were on it. Yeah, I won't lie, as someone who really has always hated Facebook, I was kind of hoping that like it would have been a better alternative for people. But Google killed it pretty much like every other one of their products. You ever seen the Google graveyard online? It is full. You don't have an electric whisk? You should get one. You can get them really cheap. I used to work in a bakery that had great blueberry muffins that were basically cupcakes. Ooh. Yeah, it's, you know, like I said, muffins are super easy to make. Oh, and I believe that is a Curie hair inside of it. Thank you, Curie. Your second contribution to the stream. Okay, so we've got 2 eggs. We're going to be putting them in one by one. Mix it up first. Yeah, you can get hand whisks really cheap, and you don't need to get anything fancy or anything like that. You can also get those crank hand whisks as well, like those are pretty good. speed this up a bit. Plus, I imagine this is probably a bit easier on the ears for you, the audience. And another one. Don't have space for it. I don't bake either. I have a normal hand whisk for when I make pancakes. You should bake. You can do it, Sumi. I know. I feel like it'd be something that you're good at as well. You might be a natural at it. I mean, you can get the fancy stuff, absolutely. I mean, the stand mixer I have is probably the fanciest bit of baking equipment I own. Although I did manage to get it on a very good sale. Usually those things, well, that particular model is like $500, but I got it for like $220. He's bullying me. I am encouraging you. Okay. I'm bullying you by saying that I think you'd be really good at something. You have some interesting bullying there in the Netherlands. I just want to make sure this is all incorporated with no orange streaks inside of it. Alright, let me shake this off. Okay. Next, we're going to beat in the baking powder, salt, and vanilla. Crying cat Discord emoji. Do we have that? Oh, I guess we don't have a crying one. Oh well. In my opinion, pancakes counts as baking. Yeah, I'd say it counts, yeah. You know, it's making something. If you're not using a mix. Praising is bullying. It was in my household. Okay, baking powder, need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Might not be enough there, actually. You know what? I do actually have a fresh can of baking powder. So instead of struggling to get this out, I will just consult this new one. Let's mix these two. Two teaspoons. Half a teaspoon of salt. Hi, Kiri. Still there. I'd like to sit, but I guess that's not going to happen, is it, Kiri? Half a teaspoon of salt. Being lazy, you might have noticed, but I always get it out of the salt shaker that we have. And it's just because I'm too lazy to get it out of the salt container that we have. And vanilla extract, how much of that? 1 teaspoon. I'm a pro, so I can eyeball 1 teaspoon. There we go. Sorry to be that person, but Salari looks like Matthew McFadden. You talking about Tom from Succession? I'm pretty sure you're referring to Tom from. He was also in Pride and Prejudice too. Not sure how I feel about that. I mean, I'm sure he's a perfectly lovely person in real life. How dare he believing me? Guess what? I'm using a mix. Ugh. You're breaking my heart. I still adjust a whole lot myself. I always add eggs, add a tiny bit of salt, and I always prepare thin apple slices, cheese, ham, etc. for topping. Ham on pancakes? Oh my god. I've never heard of such a thing. My dad gets chocolate banana pancakes, and yes, they all sit, and yes, I bake. Okay, well, this is so you could do even more baking. You can build upon that. Advance. I was going for more Mr. Darcy, not Shiv, so it's okay, that's good. Yeah. I will say, by the way, if you haven't watched Succession, watch it. It's brilliant. One of the best shows I've watched in years. But I will say that, like, as grotesque of a character he was like one of the more enjoyable characters to watch in that show. And Matthew McFadden played him very well. Like, it's really hard to get that mixture of playing someone that's like such an awful human being, yet at sometimes he is extremely sympathetic. That was the oven beat. That's kind of the interesting thing about Succession. Like, it's one of those shows, well, it's the kind of show where, like, one moment it'll show you these people, like, you know, who are like genuinely deeply wounded, vulnerable people who are deserving of some level of sympathy. Then the next moment it'll show you a scene where it just basically reminds you, like, yeah, these aren't good people. Like, they had a similar thing with, like, Tom, and he ends up, like, saying that if you have $5 million, you're basically America's poorest rich person. I'm like, that's an awful thing to say. I don't know. Watch the show. I'm not selling it well. But we don't do the American thick and tiny pancakes here. The Dutch pancake is thicker French type crepe. Oh, that's what we do in the UK, actually. Yeah, we have like the thin or thicker crepe in there. So yeah, same size, same type. I laughed when I heard that Tom's character was like Princess Diana in a royal family. Kind of makes sense. He's a bit of an outsider. Okay, so got all that in there. So now we need, where is it? Need 113, well, half a cup of milk. We'll do cups for this one. This container here, I have 2% milk for this one. Okay. Half a cup of milk, and I already have the flour measured out. Apple and cinnamon's a great combination, yeah. I saw the documentary of the real life Al-Assad family from Syria. That's the real life Succession right there. Because yeah, I was actually saying this to my wife the other day, that the leader of Syria, like, originally he was studying in America before he ended up being basically forced into his role as the leader. He was studying in America just to do IT because he was interested in computers. And it makes you wonder, like, what would have happened if he just stuck with that line of work. he would have been less of a monster, I assume. Trying to get the stuff off. All right, Luna, thank you very much for being here. Greatly appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And you will see the results of the Blueberry Muffins later on in the Discord. Assuming they're not a disaster. There we go. Okay, so next up what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding flour and then milk, and we're just going to go back and forth adding it. This way it doesn't become like too soupy too quickly. I just realized I still need the beaters. A good job I didn't put them inside the sink. Me, oh my god, handing out memberships like jolly old Saint Nick once again. Thank you very much, Sumi. This is so kind of you. You are the bee's knees. Let's see, who got the membership? Dream Elements and YouTube are telling me twice now. That's great. Annie made it. You got one. Alex Grub. Alex Grubbs, you got one. Owo Chocolate got one. Zoe B got one. Hi Zoe. And did I miss one? I think that should be everyone, I believe. But yeah, enjoy the memberships, everyone. You will get early access to the new video later on today. What am I doing here? Yeah, I'll upload a video later on today. If you check your community tabs for the post there, you'll see I include a link to the unlisted video for it. But yeah, thank you very much, Sumi. I can never thank you enough. And yes, enjoy the emojis as well. The very nice emojis my friend Annie made for me. Which member of Al-Assad was then eye doctor in the UK? Good question, I'd heard of that though. Ooh, yes. Feel dirty. Alright, so I'm gonna try and alternate this in like 3 parts. We'll do that. Tell you what, Sumi, if we ever meet, I will bake something for you. Or show you how to bake. Teach a man to fish and all that. Also, you're gonna find that this muffin mix looks quite soupy, but that's how it's supposed to be. It is basically cake, and you know, cake does look very thin when you put it inside the oven. Alright, put in some of the milk. You made me think of making pancakes for my family. I haven't seen them in 2 months, so I miss them. Thank you for the wholesome vibes. No problem. I'm sure that they will enjoy your pancakes very much. Even with the ham. Then again, I could be wrong. I've only ever tried those style of pancakes, the European style, with sweet things on them. Like when I had the ones that we have in the UK, I've had them with like golden syrup, honey, jam. Nutella's really good, but you know, Nutella's great on everything. I think sometimes you just put sugar on them. Some people like lemon juice on them, but I'm not sure about that. A bit more flour. He's threatening me with kindness. It's the only kind of threat it's the only kind of threat I know. Oh no, it's spitting flour at me. My mother made savory crepe with chicken filling recently. That could be good. In fact, I imagine it could be quite good with something like maybe like tikka masala or something like that. One thing I did get recently from Trader Joe's, once again, I'm not sponsored by them, I just get a lot of my groceries from there, is some chicken tikka masala samosas. And those are fantastic. Just throw them in the air fryer for a few minutes, nice and crispy, so good. I wish I used a stand mixer now because my arm is starting to ache. Okay, more flour. Just throw the rest in. Turn the speed down a bit just so I don't. Oop. Oof. I'm gonna two-hand this. Aggressive kindness. What was it? I think. What was it? I think there was something. I don't know. It's a while ago. It's such a vague reference, or it's not going to mean anything to anyone here. But I remember there was a Discord that I was in a little while back, and they got accused of toxic kindness. Oh yeah, it was the Discord for the Palia. So, you know, the video game Palia, which isn't doing too hot right now. It's kind of like a cozy MMO life sim kind of thing. But yeah, whenever people were giving feedback on the game, and it wasn't even like, you know, positive, it wasn't even like toxic feedback. It was just like saying like, hi, how about we include this? Or do you think you could fix this, etc. A lot of people were like pushing away the feedback, treating it as like any kind of criticism as being like unnecessary. They're sort of like ruining the vibes by making someone think, oh, I've done something wrong. So it was like kind of an unusual situation where people thought that, well, we can't get anything done here because as soon as we actually say something needs to be done, it's being mean to someone. Luckily they got past that, but it was like a significant problem. Oh my god, my arm hurts. Is it lagging? It says my connection's fine, but who knows? There was a drop? Oh, okay. Well, hopefully it's fine now. Salari missed arm. I do need to work out my arm some more, that's for sure. It's not like I'm manually whisking this with a non-electric whisk or anything. Okay. This should be good. Let me just speed that up to get it off. Am I going to try this batter? Yes, I am. More dry? You'll need one? Okay. Potential salmonella, worth the risk. At least you're working out your arms. Technically I am, yeah, you know, I'll count it. That'll be my 30 minutes for today. Yeah, one thing that, you know, before the pandemic, I had a really good gym routine going. Like I was going like 3 or 4 times a week. You know, I was doing a good amount of cardio, a good amount of weightlifting. Like I had a routine. It was the first time in my life like I really had a proper routine with it. And it was really hard to establish one as well. And then suddenly COVID came along and I was like, okay, well, what the fuck do I do now? Can't afford weightlifting equipment. Don't really have much flexibility in cardio stuff, and you know, when you're at home there's too many distractions, so I kind of just like killed that whole momentum. And you know, it's one thing, obviously there's lots of reasons to be upset about COVID, but that was one that kind of stuck for me because it was like I was doing so well. Also, I don't think I've said it yet, but Sly Fox, thank you very much for being here. How are you doing? Finally coming out of survival mode, and I can tell because I'm back to doing Pilates. My wife used to do that for a bit, actually. You liked it, didn't you? You said it was very tiring, though. Yeah. Yeah, one day, hopefully, I'll find a routine, but God, yeah. It was just so annoying after, like, finding that momentum, first time in my life, and then suddenly just, nope, go back home. Alright, it's been the time, it has indeed. There we go. Right, so now, here is where we incorporate the blueberries, aka the bloobs. Terrible. Okay, so we're gonna get half a cup of blueberries, bloobs, and we're gonna mash them. Get a bowl. Ramekin should do. Does anyone here have a RYM or AOTY profile? Those are websites where you can make lists of your favorite albums and also review them and rank them. Like a letterbox or music. Gotta say, I've never heard of either of those things. The bloobs. How do I mash these? I know. No? Maybe. Is there a good way to mash these? I'm not going to do it with my hands. I know. Use a smaller ramekin. Okay. Mash it up. Glee style. You're lucky that you all can't hear that because it's not a very pleasant noise. Oh, lovely. That is not pleasant as sights go. I'm going to mash up the rest with a fork. I want to eat bloobs, not of the blue velvet variety. RYM stands for Rate Your Music and AOTY stands for Album of the Year. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So these don't have to be super mashed up, just basically, you know, broken down a little bit. But by doing this, it does help distribute the flavor of the blueberries quite a bit. I'm glad the bloobs are being mashed. I hear the texture of biting into huge berries in my baked goods. I feel, now, one fruit, does anyone know what sultanas are? Because sultanas are kind of like a British thing. But sultanas are always like one of those things you'll find in like some British baked goods. And flavor-wise, they're not bad. They're kind of like raisins, but quite a bit softer. But one thing that I always hated, like when having something with a sultana in, is that it had that kind of texture and that feeling when biting into it, where it feels like it bursts a little bit. The skin is like just that wrong kind of texture where it feels a bit to bite into it. Hard to explain, but yeah, that was one thing that always bothered me. I like cherries. Cherries are wonderful. It's been a good while since I've had a cherry, that's for sure. Wouldn't mind having some. Cherry Bakewell tart. I'd love to make one of those. That's one of my favorites. I'm a blackberry girl. Blackberry's wonderful. Love that too. Okay, mash half a cup, add the mashed and whole berries to the batter, stirring just to combine and distribute. Okay, so I'm going to put all of these mashed up ones and these whole ones here. Whole ones and the mashed up ones. Ramekin on ramekin action. Too hot for YouTube. Oh, blew right off the fork. Okay. I believe what happened to my voice there, I don't know, but I believe we're pretty much done with the mix. All I have to do is mix it up a bit just to make sure it's all incorporated. Made a cherry vanilla cake before it was good. Oof, that does sound good. I do love a good cherry Coke. It's been a good while since I've had one of those, but oof. Cherry Coke and vanilla Coke, two of my faves. Even though Coca-Cola gives me pretty bad heartburn. Muffins have both. Yes, they do. In fact, I realize I need to reserve some berries. Actually, no, it should be okay. I was gonna put some berries on the top, but this should be all right. Right, one thing that I am going to do is put a light sprinkling of flour over the top of the berries. This makes it so that the berries don't just sink to the bottom. Don't need a lot, but you know, good coating will help. Yeah, if you are baking something with fruits, especially stuff that's like chopped up, berries, etc., like that has, with cakes in particular, it can have a tendency to drop to the bottom. So you can end up having muffins that are perfectly fine, but all of the fillings is trapped to the bottom, are trapped to the bottom. So we're just going to mix this up a bit, not too much. We're just making it so the bloobs are just incorporated. I'll fold it a bit. Grab down the sides, make sure there's no rogue bits in there. Okay, that should be good. Et voila. Excuse me. Have you tried new ones like Creativity Flavor? I've not heard of that. The only new ones I've heard of, they had like what was like movie theater Coca-Cola, and what was the other one that you heard of? Yeah, Coca-Cola Galaxy or something like that, something space related. Yeah, I never got to try it though. There's a popular soda drink in the Netherlands made out of black cherries called cassis. One thing I do really like, and it's not a soda, but they sell it at IKEA, lingonberry juice. It's very popular in Sweden. But yeah, because for a while since I had health problems that made it so that I couldn't drink anything carbonated, when I worked at IKEA, we get free drinks there, and what I got all the time was lingonberry. And I developed a taste for it, even though I didn't really like it that much at first. Add jump scare appropriate for Six Flags commercial. Because you know, when you look at me, first thing you think is Six Flags. You think fun theme parks. All right, so Double check this. Okay. I'm just gonna put this aside for a moment, and we need to grease up this. Need to grease up this 12 tin. Oh God, I'm running out of things. My mind's kind of a mess right now. We're gonna grease up this tray, this tin of muffins. There are 12 muffins that can fit inside of here. And you have two options. One, you can either use like the paper inserts that you typically get muffins on, but my preferred method is you can just grease it up with some butter and then put a very light layer of flour on it, so it just keeps it. So it works with any kind of cake that you make. It makes it so it can easily be separated from the tin. That's the method I'm going to use. The difference between them texture-wise is that if you were to do it without the paper cups, then it makes it so you have like a nice bit of crispness to the base of the muffin. Whereas if you do use the paper cups, it makes it so it's a lot more softer on the outside. I like the crispness, so we're going to go for that. Better than Manscaped, I guess. I've never been approached by Manscaped, and to be honest with you, I'm not sure I'd want to go with them. But one thing, like, I always hated the idea, as I've expressed in the past, I hate the idea of gendering healthcare products. Like, you know, everyone shaves. It's not something that's like should be gender specific or anything like that. So just the term Manscaped is stupid as far as I'm concerned. Because, you know, it's an electric shaver. Like, what makes it geared towards men? Sounds like cars, except you say cas, and then is, just like the word casus. Okay. Perhaps as a woman, I want to maintain my dangly bits. Indeed, we all got bits to maintain. All right, so before I get this all ready to put into the oven, I'm gonna go take a brief break so I was gonna make a gross joke then about dangly bits, but I won't because I'm more mature than that. But yeah, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be about 5 minutes or so. In the meantime, question of the day, if I remember right, what is your favorite flavor? I know you've already kind of had this discussion. I didn't expect that to happen. But, you know, favorite flavors, whether it's, you know, chocolates or vanillas or lemons, berries, anything really. And what do you like that flavor in? But yeah, I'll be about 5 minutes. Stick around and we'll be putting the muffins into the oven. I'll talk to you in a moment. All right, I'm back and we are going to get this greased up. But first of all, flavors. Let's see. It makes so much sense for certain female creators to advertise for their massive fanboy audiences. That is true, yeah. Strawberry, and I love strawberry ice cream. Strawberry ice cream is good, yeah. My favorite ice cream is anything chocolate related, I will say that. I once had, there's an ice cream place nearby that does hazelnut chocolate ice cream. And not only is it hazelnut chocolate ice cream, but they have like chunks of Nutella inside of it. So good. They only do it like at one point in the year. In fact, I think we need to go there soon and see if they're actually selling it again. In winter? Fucking arsehole. Why would you do special? Oh. This is an outrage. Flavor without the U spellers in the hat start hissing. I'm sorry for honoring the French and their spellings, I think. I do embrace the ads for the cats. I am sure they appreciate it. Don't you, Curie, who's still taking my seat? You even see her from there. It's sort of. That is as high as the sea goes. Between cheese or orange for me. Interesting. together or both? Orange is great. In fact, those madeleines that I was going to make, those were going to be orange zest madeleines, and they're wonderful with the dark chocolate in there. I'm going to go with raspberry. I'd eat it in pretty much anything. There is a British dessert called jam roly-poly, which I know is a very British name for a dessert, but it's kind of like Swiss roll. Got like that cake, like cylindrical cake, and it's got a layer of raspberry jam around the edges of that, and then it has like a log of vanilla ice cream in that, so you cut slices of it. Really good. A childhood favorite, that one. Need to go rest in a few minutes to get a true breather. Okay, Pograj, if you're still here, then I don't know what to say about that. But yes, if you need to get a breather, that's perfectly fine. I ain't gonna stop you. I'm not a cop. I'll go wrong with milk chocolate, but that only works in sweet things. Chocolate milk. Oh yeah, chocolate milk. I'm a sucker for that, absolutely. Been too long since I've had it. Strawberry cake with vanilla frosting, also great too, yeah. Strawberry cake, can't go wrong. Wouldn't mind making some strawberry shortcake one day, you know, like the Japanese style one with the sliced up strawberries in it. Is it cheating to just say red fruit? I mean, you know, there is a similar kind of flavor profile between red fruits. Unless you count apples, like red apples. Cockroach, thank you very much for being here. I know it's late on your end, so thank you very much for sticking around. Rest well, friend. I'm one of the freaks who enjoys pistachio ice cream the most. I like pistachio ice cream. It's not on top of my list, but I will say I do like it. Made it go by too quickly. We are halfway through this damn year already. How is that even possible? They need to do something. The government needs to step in and slow down the passage of time. All right, as I am reading this, I shall grease this up. Cinnamon is wonderful too. I am a sucker for cinnamon. Anyone remember Charlie and Lola? And they always called strawberry milk pink milk. I have not heard of that before. Then again, I also don't know what Charlie and Lola is. Is that an animated show? My brain is still in 2023. Me still. Yeah. Also, hello, Dio. How are you doing? Nice to see you here. See, I don't dislike strawberry milk, but like as options go, you know, if they're saying what kind of flavored milk would you want? Chocolate milk every day of the week. Overhead. So yeah, I just got this stick of butter here. I'm just gonna rub it around, get into all them crevices. Don't need to put too much in there, otherwise it can alter the flavor of the muffins a bit too much. What I'll do once I've got the base down, I will use these paper towels just to distribute it a bit more evenly. Then once that's done, we will put on a dusting of flour. Flour is what keeps it easier. But I am mealy-mouthed today. The flour is what helps it separate when you take the muffin out. Can do this just with the grease, whether it is butter or oils, but I find that if you include the flour on there, it does give it like that extra layer of ease when it comes to taking it out. My wife is playing Cook Serve Delicious 3 right now. Anyone played those games? I'm gonna fold this in such a way that it doesn't get my hand too greasy. Okay. Proud to be from a cinnamon heavy country, as you should be. Slow day for me. How's your day been? Somewhat hectic, like I said earlier, before you joined. I finished up the recent video. I was trying to figure out what thumbnail I should use for it, which resulted in me inquiring about things to do in Photoshop, which I did not know what to do. And it's honestly stuff that I probably should have done after the stream because it kind of messed with my organization. But hey, what's done is done, right? Did a huge code yellow thunderstorm after work. Ooh. What does a code yellow entail? I don't think we have such a thing here. Whenever there's a thunderstorm in North Carolina, people just lose their shit. And it's even worse when we have snow. Okay. Bought a Quest 3 and accidentally paid with my debit card. Ooh. I've heard the Quest 3 is quite good. See, I'm not someone that believes that virtual reality is like the future and everyone's going to be using it just because it's prohibitively expensive. But when I did try out a VR headset for the first time, which was the Quest 2, I will say I was very impressed by it. If I ever managed to like see one fairly cheap, like if I saw a Quest 3 for like maybe $250 or something like that, which is probably not going to happen, then I'd probably pick one up at that point. But I can't really think of much that I'd use it for. Like there's a handful of really good VR games out there, but you know, outside of those uses, I'm not too sure. Lost my wallet and went to Walmart for the groceries. They don't accept Google Pay and have to use their shitty app to pay. Really frustrating. Yet more reasons to dislike Walmart. You know, I've never been in a Walmart since moving to America. And I don't... Oh, sorry. There's a leaf blower guy right on our porch. I'm glad I didn't look in there because you can see right directly in and that looks kind of weird. My fiance played through most of, if not all of those games in a very short time. She loves cooking games. Oh, sorry, now they're right at the front door. Okay. I don't know how much of that you can hear. But yeah, my wife really likes them. She could go pro with them if she wanted to, if there was a pro cook serve delicious scene. I'm just gonna sprinkle the flour in each one of these, and then I'm gonna knock this pan around just so I can more safely distribute it. Code yellow is like the first serious storm level of code for weather here. Orange is like, please don't go outside if you don't have to. Red is like, pray. Okay. Ugh. Did you get a bad storm, or was it just a heads up kind of thing? I remember when I lived in Albany, Georgia, my school closed down when it snowed, when the snow just covered the roofs and that was it. That sounds like here as well, because you do get school closures for just a light dusting of snow on the ground. And coming from the UK, where, you know, we don't have a ton of snow, but we do get some here and there. Like the kind of snowfall that my old schools would close down for was like 2 or 3 feet of snow. But here it's like, you know, oh no, dust. Let's close everything down. Everyone run to the gas station. It's Mad Max out here. I'm just trying to maneuver this around. I may actually have to add more flour into it because it's not moving too well. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna add quite a bit more in these. Good. Apologies for not being too involved in the chat right now. Okay. All right, I'm just going to do this over the sink just so I don't make too much of a mess on the counter. Pardon me. Okay, should be good, I think. A tiny bit on this one here. I know you can't see any of this stuff, so sorry about that. Yeah, speaking of snow, North Carolina, or Charlotte, where I live with my wife, for the first time ever, for 2 years in a row, we didn't see any snow. And that's the first time that's ever happened. So, thanks, climate change. I love the snow, and I really resent not being able to enjoy it. Okay. Yeah, here is the dusted container right now. And yeah, like I said, it's just a layer of butter that's greased onto there with a sprinkling of flour. And now I have a bunch of flour underneath my fingernails, which is great. I was mad when I went to Walmart, shopped a little, and left my card at home. I walked 43 minutes to get to the Walmart and had to go home empty-handed. Oof, that is rough. If I were in these shoes, I probably would have just shoplifted everything at that point. But you know what? They can afford it. Oh yeah, you got Kiri here. There she be. Hello, Salari. Yeah, let me move my setup to the right a bit. Laura, do you have any knowledge about IELTS exam? I can't say I do. What does that stand for? This isn't a setup to a D's nuts joke, is it? IELTS. I had to reorder all of my cards since I can't find my wallet. Ugh, yeah. I personally don't like snow, but snow melted after 2. But snow here melted after 2 days during winter. Melted snow, not great, but you know, that first snowfall of the year where it all looks fresh and everything, there's something a little bit magical about that. Okay, so with these, what I'm going to do is fill up each container to the brim. I'm just going to use this 1/4 cup here. Yep, so each one goes right to the brim. You might have to use a different cup actually, because this one isn't easy to get out. Actually, I I have a small spatula that'll be useful for this. Was it a D's nuts joke and I've just missed it? IELTS. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see it. Okay. Okay. Oh, there's going to be a lot of blueberries in these. All them bloobs. IELTS is an English level determination exam. It's to attend universities and stuff. Ah, okay. I'm sorry of accusing you of it being a D's nuts joke. You never can tell, you know? But no, I haven't heard that. In fact, Dio might possibly know something about it, given that he's an international student. I'll trade spaces with you in the winter months if you want to get a bunch of snow. It's not as plentiful as it was, but we get at least one really nasty storm every year. I mean, maybe not the storm, but you know, like I said, I will take some snow. Just a bit, you know? It's one of those things, like, I know like a lot of adults, you know, when they reach adulthood, a lot of people really start disliking the snow because it makes it difficult for them to get to work and do chores and other shit like that. But when you're a kid, like, I've somehow managed to hold on to that sense of childhood wonder when it comes to snow. And I would like to continue holding on to it. I feel like if I reached the point in my life where like I started looking outside and seeing snow and just thinking like, ugh, snow, that would be it for me. That would be like the last vestiges of my childhood innocence gone out the window. But despite any level of cynicism that I have, I can at least say I love the snow. I swear I have a severe case of ligma. Oh, what's ligma? What was it? The last D's nuts joke that I did, or at least the last one I was proud of, was it was with someone and we were ordering some takeout from an Italian restaurant. I was looking over the menu online and I ended up saying, you know, oh, have you ever tried a fila before? Like, it's an Italian food. Have you tried a fila? And I said, no. Why is that? What is it? And I said, I think you'd really like it because I'm sure that you'd love a fila these nuts. And then he looked like he died inside, which was great. That's what you want after a good D's nuts joke. And to be as neat as possible with these. I don't like getting spillages. It's very easy to do with this kind of substance. Can't wait for fall and skip again to spring again. See, in Charlotte, you pretty much just have winter and then immediately it just goes into summer. Like, growing up in the UK, like springtime in the UK is like, you know, 15 to 20 degrees Celsius weather. Nice sunny weather, that kind of thing, you know. But, you know, a tolerable level of heat, not too cold. But here it's like, you go from 1 week where the average is like 7 degrees Celsius, and then suddenly it just 2 weeks later or something is like 24 or something like that. Like, that is summer in British terms. This isn't acceptable. And then we have like 8 or 9 months of that. We have like 2 months of winter and the rest is just summer. I know how to do my maths, clearly. I think I'm gonna have excess here, quite a bit actually. In another case of capitalism stealing something I once loved from me, were it not for work, I'd still see every snow day as magical. Yeah, you're not wrong there, yeah. It is, like I said, it's just that adulthood experience that sort of clouds people's perceptions of it. I remember when I was a kid, it was a very vivid, fond memory that I had when I was in primary school. I think I was about 9, 10 years old, something like that. You know, young little Salari, sweet little thing with his lollipop and his little hat, which had like one of those spinning propellers on it. Don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, yeah, when I was about like 9, 10, maybe 8 years old, I was walking to school, and I was walking with a friend, and as we were walking downhill, we could see that the vice principal, or vice headmaster, as they call it in our schools, was stood outside of the school gate, and we could see that there were people talking to him, and was walking away very shortly afterwards. So we get up to the school gate, vice principal starts talking to us, says like, I'm afraid, it was Scottish, I'm afraid there's not going to be any school today, lads. Turns out a boiler stopped working overnight. It's a terrible accent. Yeah, it said there's not going to be any school. The boiler stopped working overnight, so the school is freezing inside. And we just had like this little moment, me and my friend, like we just looked like a bit disappointed when looking at the principal. Vice principal was like, oh, okay. And then like turned around, started walking up the hill as usual. And then we both at the same time, almost like as though we were telepathically communicating with each other, let out a huge cheer, punched the air and everything, and it was great. It was a wonderful moment that I remember very fondly. Just one of those things, you know? And then we went sledding down a nearby hill. I need to prepare a report and presentation. I have less than 48 hours. What do you recommend? I do not know what this exam might entail. Are there any tutorials on YouTube or anything? Yeah, without having any kind of prior knowledge on an exam or something like that, I wouldn't feel right offering any advice. I mean, other than, you know, emotional advice, but I was never really great at taking exams myself. More than anything, I'd say try to relax. The more stressed you get with exams, the more liable you are to forget things. Trying to make sure these are good and even. After they're all in, we're going to put the sprinkling of sugar on top of them. Oh good, another Curie here. Thank you, Curie. Please, no one tell the health inspector about my stream. That's not... Oh, was that your hair? It was pretty long, yeah. Okay, it's your hair then. Hmm? It was your hair regardless. My hair is not that long. My hair is a bit shaggy right now, but it ain't that long. Evidently, you have been within some certain proximity of either the ingredients or the equipment. Whose hair would it be otherwise? Whom's? Tell me. I mean, we had a guest here the other day with long hair, but I don't think she got any of that. We run a DNA test on her. Okay. Well, go fish it out the sink and then take it to your scientist friends to do their science shit on it. I gotta go see North Carolina. It's like 2 hours drive, but I've never been there. I mean, it's got some nice places to it. I mean, like I said, we're in Charlotte. We used to live near Greensboro in a shitty little town called Burlington, which I do not recommend visiting. But yeah, and was it Asheville, a mountainous town full of hipsters? People still use the term hipster anymore? I feel like they don't. Like, what's the Zoomer equivalent of hipster? Because hipster's like always been one of those words that's sort of like, one of those terms that's like always been around. Its definition has changed in different ways, but like it gives off the same kind of meaning with the kind of person, like a pretentious person who, you know, thinks that they're better than everyone, especially on like a cultural level. A cute story, I can totally see it playing out as an anime. It was a little bit anime, especially since, you know, as I was going my way to school, I had the slice of toast in my mouth as well. So dumb. First time I remember going to Sesame Place, I remember when we finally got there, I yelled, "Sesame Place!" and the whole bus started chanting, "Sesame Place, Sesame Place." That sounds wonderful. Although I have to ask, what is Sesame Place? Is it like Sesame Street or something? But that's great, you know, it's one of those moments that you can't write, I guess. Well, I guess you could write it, but you know, it's like that level of fiction coming to life. Since I get direct contact, let me say this, your Duma video was really good. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, that was an interesting project, that one. Had some interesting side effects too, because we had quite a few people visiting the Discord afterwards to tell me that I was wrong. And yeah, like, because like I was talking, you know, I mentioned in that video like how it's good. There is something you need to like realize for yourself when you're going through these kinds of phases, because a lot of people that get stuck in that doomer mindset, they get like hung up on their own misery, thinking it's like the thing that defines them, like their sadness makes them unique. But because they're doing something like that, it means that if they let go of that sadness or even try to let go of that sadness, it can result in a person that basically has nothing to offer to other human beings. But yeah, like I said, we had people joining the Discord, and I do feel bad for these people. I'm not making fun of them or anything, but you know, we got people saying like, that's not true. We had one person even saying that they were like basically genetically destined to be lonely, which like, that is one way of justifying it, I will say. But yeah, some interesting response. That's the thing, it just tells me whenever someone subscribes to the channel. Like Disney World, but with Sesame Street characters. That does sound fun. Sesame Place. I'll have to look that up. I'm genetically Sigma male. Hey, join the club. In Pennsylvania. Okay. All right, so now for the final touch on these ones is that we are going to be putting some sugar on the top of them. Pour some sugar on me, as the band Poison? Who did that song? You know the song, right? You know, pour some sugar on me. I can play it on guitar, but I can't do it. All right, so we're gonna put a generous amount of sugar on each of these. It's gonna be about 1 teaspoon. Has to like have a layer over the top of it. Will the overlay show? Yeah, that should be fine. Yes, gotta be generous here. It seems like a lot, but you gotta be generous, otherwise it doesn't work out too well. Or you don't get that nice crust over it. It seems like a lot, because it is a lot, but it's what's necessary. Actually, that one could use a bit more. What have you been doing today, Curie? Been applying for jobs? Nope. What a surprise. Can't even get a job, and just the other day she was bragging about getting approved for a credit card. Have fun with your $300 limit. What the fuck am I talking about? The Duma video is one of the ones I recommend whenever I tell folks about your channel. It was super good. Yeah, it's you know, like I said, I'm proud of the video, but I will say like the stress that it brought with all the people joining the Discord kind of made me think like, it made me happy, not happy, but it was kind of relieved that it wasn't like a runaway hit, because I couldn't imagine the kind of traffic we would have gotten on the Discord if that would have happened. But you know, like I said, a lot of people have said that they really liked it and it meant something to them, and that's what I want. But to this day, I still would say my favorite videos include the video about women on Twitch, because that was a lot of fun to make, and I really liked being able to interview people for it, since I really don't get to do that kind of thing often enough. And I've been told I'm a good interviewer, which is nice. And the video I did about nostalgia as well, because that was something that I'd wanted to speak about for a long time, and it always struck me as a really fascinating phenomenon, given now we are very much hung up on nostalgic content. Back then we were, when I made the video, and we most definitely still are now. Ugh. Kind of distribute it a bit better. So hey, you at home, what's your favorite video by Salari on YouTube? Leave your comments below. And don't forget to like and do the subscribing. I feel very cheap right now. Curious credit is good enough to get $300 limit. I know I'm calling to co-sign on my big purchase for me. I mean, say that, but we tried putting her down as a co-signer for the mortgage. That's why, she's why we can't get a mortgage now. Putting her name close to ours ruined our credit. I went from having an 800 credit score to 6. All right, that seems a healthily unhealthy amount of sugar to put on top of it. I'm horrible at interviewing and I'm an HR major. Interviewing's not that hard. Like interviewing, the trick to being a good interviewee is to simply be personable. Be a person who is not just applying for a job. Insert humanity into it. Be interesting, you know, talk about your hobbies and stuff like that. Treat it more like a conversation between two people rather than you trying to get a job. Those are the people that stick out the most. And if a job rejects you because, you know, you didn't play by the book, then fuck it. Probably didn't need the job anyway. I know I shouldn't be just saying fuck it, because obviously getting a job can be like of paramount for some people, but yeah. Anyway, so these are all done. They need to go in the oven for 30 minutes until they're brown on the top, until we can insert a toothpick into the middle of them and have them come out pretty dry. So here is the final product before it goes in. Lots of muffins with lots of sugar on the top of it. And here we go. 375, 30 minutes. Let the magic happen. And once again, apologies to those of you with a Google Assistant, because I'm about to do this. Hey Google, set a timer for 30 minutes. Fury, I need to sit. Don't squeak. Okay, you want some batter? No? Put that aside for a moment and clean up momentarily. I like the talent belongs to the beautiful video. Yeah, that was also one of my favorites. I really enjoyed making that one. That was the first video that ever really took off, to be honest with you. I would like to revisit stuff like that in the future. I kind of do with the video I'm about to release. That's sort of in the same vein as that topic. Not really about the halo effect or anything, but you know, kind of reminds me of it. But yeah, it was a good one. If I could find a topic that's similar to that for every single video, it would be much easier for me to write stuff. Coming up with a new idea every single month is way harder than it seems. Especially something that seems like unique and people haven't really spoken about before. It's hard to do that. Fill up my drink. Can I get another seat so I don't disturb her? No, it's behind the camera. I can't move that. Ay. Sorry, Kiri, but I'm gonna have to move you in a moment. My back's starting to hurt. Get this stuff put away. Yeah, does anyone have any suggestions for other things that I can bake? Like I said, I am going to be making the Madeleines that we voted on in the Discord at some point. Probably on my next baking stream. Also, real quick query, very quick survey here. What day would be ideal to stream on for you? Like if I was to change the day that I stream on, not time necessarily, but day, what would you like? Because I'm thinking of switching to something like a Friday instead. Alright, Kiri, sorry. I know. Don't know if you heard that, but she objected. Just convert to a full-time reaction channel, all issues in life solved. I mean, I'd be selling my soul, but, you know, what's that worth in this day and age? Yeah, reaction content, Jesus Christ. Like, it is upsetting the amount of money people have made off reaction content. Literally just cannibalizing other people's content while you just put a webcam on yourself, just going, whoa, no, oh man. Yeah, so true. They're so good. Oh no. There we go. That's every reaction that you need for reaction content. All of it. Had to take a break, but I'm back. Welcome back, just in time for kitty time. Yes, she is here. Had to dethrone her, unfortunately. Maybe Sunday. Okay. This Sunday could be pretty good. I love the baking streams, they're chill. Yeah, I'd never do reaction content. Like, you know, I even feel guilty whenever I like open up someone else's YouTube video on my streams. Just because I feel like I'm stealing something there. And yeah, like a lot of other reaction content out there is just terrible. Like, I mean, is SS Sniper Wolf still a thing now? Because she got like in some hot water about like stalking and some shit of Jack's films. Like there was a whole thing there. But like, is she still pretty big? Because she was like, she and, well, her and Mr. Beast were like, because like one thing that I used as an example for people, because like a lot of people aren't in the know about YouTube. Like when I came to like explaining about the algorithm and stuff like that, I would use this as an example. So I would talk about like how the algorithm favors certain creators over others, and that if you have a huge audience, then the algorithm is going to put you in front of everyone, even like if you're brand new to YouTube. So I'd give an example where I'd say that if you opened up YouTube in an incognito browser where you don't have any cookies or search history stored or anything like that, if you open up YouTube in an incognito window, you will get, and I use these as examples at the time, I said you'll get a Mr. Beast video and you will get a SS Sniper Wolf video, guaranteed. But I don't know if she's still a part of that anymore. But you will still get Mr. Beast videos. And yeah, I've seen Darman videos pop up actually. I used to watch SS Sniper Wolf, but I stopped because sometime it was rude. Yeah, I will admit, like I only caught like a little bit of one of her videos. It just seemed like kind of typical reaction content stuff. Which, you know, I'm not judging anyone for watching reaction content or anything like that. I'm sure some people are quite fun. Like Maximilian Dude, I have enjoyed seeing some of his stuff. Asmongold can get fucked though, he's boring as hell, and I don't understand why people like him. Hot take. I just opened one in incognito and it's a blank homepage. Interesting. It should have something. What time is it? 4:11. Okay. May have to take another break real soon just so I can use the facilities. Yeah, I'm gonna take a break real quick. We have 23 minutes left on the muffins. And after they're done, we're just gonna let them cool down a little bit before I can actually take them out. But yeah, I'm gonna be back in about 3 or 4 minutes or so. In the meantime, I don't know, get a drink or something like that. I'm not your mother, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. But yeah, I'll be right back. Ooh. All right, I am back. Anyway, is anyone having more lagging issues? Because I keep getting notifications from YouTube saying that the bit rate is lower than recommended. So the blank homepage is truly blank? I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Oh yeah, let's see how the muffins are doing. Let me get a camera open. Hi Curie, how are you? You. Okay, muffins. As you can see, they're rising quite nicely. I'm not going to open the door because that can let the heat escape and it can end up sinking as a result. But yeah, coming along quite well. My oven is filthy. Damn it, Curie, stealing my seat. Jump in my grave. Okay. Hey! Do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man! Lagged a little bit, but not too bad. Okay, so long as it's bearable, you know, that's what matters, I guess. Spectrum and their shitty internet follows me wherever I go. What's up? What's up? She's a ragdoll. You know, funny thing was, we're not 100% sure, like, what she is. She is a mix. She's got Siamese in her, hence why she's got the blue eyes. But yeah, we're not 100% sure what she is. She looks like a purebred, but she's not. What would you say Curie has? Yeah, she might have some Persian because of her head shape. Was it Himalayan as well? Maybe Himalayan. She's 100% adorable. What's up? Getting into a staring contest with me? You won't win. Okay, you win this round. I am the Muffin Man for today. And I made chocolate muffins on a previous stream, didn't I? Yeah, when I was on Twitch. How long we got left? 14 minutes and 45 seconds. Okay. What should we do in the meantime? Seen any good movies recently? Played any good games? Any good shows? Please, share. And what have I been watching? Finished watching Shogun, which is fantastic. I highly recommend Shogun. That got renewed for a second season as well, which I'm kind of surprised at, since at first it was supposed to be a limited series. But I'm sure they can get more material out of it since it's a historical show. Started watching The White Lotus, which was quite good. Only seen the first episode though. What else we watched? You can't go there. Watched, movie-wise, I watched Decision to Leave, which is by Korean director Park Chan-wook, who directed Oldboy. That was very, very good. It was kind of overlooked last year when it came out, but I highly recommend it. Park Chan-wook is still very, very good at making movies. But yeah, that was really good. And game-wise, oh yeah, I've been playing through the new Apollo Justice trilogy, which I never played those on the DS or the 3DS, but I'm a big fan of them. They're very fun games. I'm just watching anime as they air this season. Dungeon Meshi, A Condition Called Love, etc. What's A Condition Called Love about? I will admit I do like some of the slice of life romance ones, like My Love Story is really good. But I will say I can't stand it when the love story animes like take 20 something episodes to actually get to the part where the people confess their feelings to each other. And then you have like 3 episodes where they're actually dating and nothing happens. I think I actually spoke about that in the video I did about why so much anime is based in high school. I watch regular show on Hulu after watching Impractical Jokers. I very much enjoy Impractical Jokers. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. Well, not really guilty or anything, but it is one of those shows that I can put on when I can't think of anything to watch and I just want to laugh at something. Yeah, always been a sucker for that show. And I miss Joe Gatto. Joe was the best. He will forever be missed. The show is not bad as it is now, but it's a huge void that he left behind by not being on there. Hopefully he'll return one day. Same, oh my god, I love Sasaki and Miyano, but there was 2 episodes too many of them pining before getting together. Yeah, it's a weirdly, well, it's like the most common thing with romance anime, just like all that time spent just like, oh, do they like me? I don't know if they like them. I like them, but I can't tell them that I like them because then they'll know that I like them and they might not like me. Oh, but look, they did this really nice thing for me. They must like me. No, I'm just reading into it too much. They're just a nice person. It's like, oh my god. Like, just at moments like that, you wish that you could just like magic yourself into the show just so you can like grab these 2 people. Like, okay, this person likes you, this person likes you, you like each other, make it happen, and then just leave, ruin the season for everyone, because I'm sure people love that stuff. Kimi no Todoke is, in the manga wise, took 17 volumes before they kissed. That's torture. What was there? I watched one. There was one anime we watched last year that kind of regret spending my time on. Toradora, that's it. Heard good things about it. People said, you know, it's a solid slice of life thing. It had some fun parts in like the earlier episodes. I think it was like the first third of the show was fun, but then good god did it fall off the cliff after that. Like, it was just that exact dynamic over and over again. Oh, I like them, but I don't know if they like me, blah blah blah, back and forth, you know. And then yeah, it was just so frustrating to watch. And there was just so much contrived drama as well in that one. Like, it was unbelievably bad at the end of it. You're young, you have nothing to lose, and only 3 years to date this person. Just confess. Exactly, yeah. Like, you know, you're young. You're like, you can fuck up at this point in your life. Like, that's perfectly fine. You know, someone doesn't like you, move on. Doesn't feel great to be rejected, but you're in a situation like that when you both very much feel the same for each other, and neither of you are communicating. Put that shit out there, you know. We talk about anime in here. Yes, we are Star. How are you doing? Star, welcome. Of course, you're the author of the very famous comic Castanets, based on the traditional Spanish instrument, click-clacky things. Not my most creative pun, but I'll go with it this time. How are you doing? I feel the same about Toradora. Yeah, that show, it was just a wreck by the end. Like, just watching it like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, now she's running away from home. Now she's like sending a text of a star. Not you. Sending a text of stars in the night sky to people. Like, what the fuck is going on here? So weird. Go back to being fun. And the only thing I can really like get from stuff like that is it's being written by people that don't really know what it's like to be in a relationship, like, or, you know, to actually have an open channel of communication between 2 people that have feelings for each other. It was just kind of a mess. I feel hungry, gotta go home and cook. Well, thank you very much for stopping by, Dio. Hope you enjoy your dinner. Hope you have something hearty and hale. I love My Little Monster because I spent the whole first episode thinking it was going to be a typical slow burn romance, but then it confessed at the end of episode 1. And that's why I liked My Love Story. It was the third episode of that one where they actually say anything to each other. And the funny part is they're actually tricked into confessing each other's feelings, and that was great. But like they have the dynamic between the two male friends. They were fantastic. They have such a wonderful friendship. And of course, it's a very non-traditional show in that the male love interest is just this big lummox of a guy, but he is absolutely wonderful as a character goes. Yeah, watch My Love Story if you've never seen it. It's one season. They get into that shit straight away, and the rest you get to enjoy this wonderful relationship blossom between these two people. And it's very funny as well. Like, it is legitimately very funny. I'm not a big fan of anime humor, but that one did it right. But yeah, I don't know how long I can stick around waiting for my ride at the airport. Ah, yes. Whereabouts are you flying to? If you don't enjoy Will They Want They stuff, you might like Watakoi. I haven't watched the anime, but the manga's cute. I've never heard of that one before. A couple starts dating immediately. That's right, get into it. Life's too short. Two people being terminally shy around each other. Can't go now, need to wait till 5. Okay, well I shall keep you company in the meantime. Besides the muffins, just over 5 minutes left remaining. I watched My Love Story from your video recommending it. I still haven't finished it. Oh, glad that I could convince someone to watch it. Yeah, the only downside of My Love Story is that they kind of botched the last 2 episodes because they have this weird storyline, and this isn't a major spoiler or anything like that, but they have this weird storyline where like his girlfriend starts working at this bakery. The head of the bakery there, like becomes the head of the bakery who, you know, if we're going to put it into proper terms, he's at least like in probably his mid-20s, possibly later than that. And you know, his girlfriend, Yamato, she is 16, just turned 16. But yeah, like she works at this bakery part-time, and this head of the bakery ends up getting like really interested in her because like she's like his muse or something like that. And then he ends up coming to the conclusion that she should be his girlfriend. And bear in mind, this character has just sort of like appeared out of nowhere. But she ends up like going up to her boyfriend and saying like, you need to break up with her because she needs to be my girlfriend because she's my muse. And instead of telling this guy to fuck off like he should do, he's just like, oh, maybe you're right. Maybe, you know, this guy would be a better fit since he likes baking and I don't know how to bake. And they never like ask for her input in this whole thing. They have like this competition where this guy says, if I win the competition, you have to break up with her so I can date her. And yeah, at no point does either of them like consult her with it. Say like, you know, hey, this guy, he wants to, this guy in his mid to late 20s wants to date you, a 16-year-old. So we've come up with this deal where if he wins this competition, I break up with you and he dates you then. Because that's normal. And yeah, shocking. He doesn't, well, he wins, decides not to date her anyway, which I'm glad happened. So I'm glad that was the case because, you know, someone deserves to Chris Hansen the fuck out of that guy if that happened. But yeah, drop the ball, but I don't know. A blemish on an otherwise great show. Toradora was kind of funny. I like Tiger because she was tough. It was funny with an emphasis on the was, just because later on when it just started running off, when it just started like falling off the rails, like that's the point where we're just like, can you go back to being funny again? But yeah, it took itself way too seriously by the end. If you don't enjoy, well, I just read that, pardon me. You're telling me a lot of romance animes are written by mangakas with no real love life experience? Crazy. I know, shocking, right? I'm glad they're out there teaching our younger generations about the perils of love and why it's worth holding off for months on end to tell someone why you like them. also about adults, which is nice. Yeah, that's another thing that you don't get enough of, adults actually dating, and you know what that means to date in your adult years. Tokyo Mew did that in the first episode. Oh, Tokyo Mew Mew. Okay. Good, yeah. Get to it. Like, as fun as it can be, like seeing a relationship blossom, like, you know, people discovering young love, how wonderful a feeling that can be. Like, I think it is also very important to show people what it actually is like to be in a relationship. Because when you have an anime that like shows all the build up but not the conclusion, you're not really equipping people with like much there in the way of like experiences, some kind of insight as to what it is actually like. Then again, I generally recommend that people shouldn't look to anime or manga for life lessons anyway. Unless it's Dragon Ball, in which case all your life lessons are all there. Chris CHG, if you're still here, oh sorry, if you are here, thank you very much for subscribing. I haven't watched a single good romance anime, all of them sucked. Try My Love Story. Like I said, most of them suck in my eyes, but that one was fun. Horiyama was right, much better than others I've seen. Horiyama, never heard of that one. 55 seconds left. That's my beverage. Get a mat ready for it. "25 seconds. Speaking of anime, have you watched Chainsaw Man yet? No, I have not. I may check it out someday. I know you recommended it to me, so I'll probably at least try the first episode at some point. I liked Lucky Star when I was 14. Konata was my favorite girl. Oh. Stop! Need a skewer. Need to have like a GoPro for this moment so you can see opening the oven from my perspective. Whoa, there's a lot of steam came out of there. Okay, looking good. Do the test. Splinters on that one. And perfect. No crumbs, no moisture. Cooked right through. Baked right through. Get you the close-up of this. Probably should have moved it a bit closer, but there we go. All right. I don't know why you can see that from. Not very well. Let me get the phone camera up. There we go. As you can see, it's got that nice sugary crust on top of it. Might have gone a bit overboard with the sugar, but you know, still good. You can see the blueberries bleeding out of the side. That's what you want. And it looks like there's a good berry distribution inside too. Apart from that one for some reason, but you know, it'll still have a good amount in. Wonderful sugary crust. I wouldn't mind getting some coarse sugar, which are just like larger sugar crystals. Wouldn't mind trying that out someday. Or even a streusel. But yep, these are the Jordan Marsh style blueberry muffins. And they are wonderful. And super, super easy to make as well. You saw me make them. You saw what went into it. We'll let those cool for a few minutes, and then we shall pull one out. Just do look at the final product. I don't know whether I'll be able to eat one since we are, what was I gonna say, pretty damn hot in the middle. Blueberries will be very hot inside of them. But yeah, I'll give it a few moments and then I'll be able to take them out. So what do you think? Just know these muffin tops are crispy, very crispy, yes. Nice shell on top of them, and they smell fantastic. Alright. They do smell damn good. Oof. I'd want to have one right now, but I would melt my tongue off. Oh yeah, thank you. Yes, I need to turn the oven off. I'm in Atlanta, just throw one south and I'll catch it. I'll throw the whole thing. Yeah, I will post the recipe in the Discord as well. It's from the King Arthur website, which they have a lot of good stuff to bake on there. King Arthur is the flour company. Well, they do other baking supplies too. But they always have really good recipes on there to be. But yeah, excuse me. Like I said, it's very, very easy to make this. And you should probably have most of the ingredients in your house anyway. Depending on whether you bake or not, I guess. The only thing that you need to get is the blueberries. Please do report back about the texture of the berries. Well, by the looks of it, it should be nicely incorporated into that. They shouldn't have like the burst, because when you do cook blueberries, and most berries actually, they do end up like dissolving quite a bit. They lose their structure inside of it. Just because there's so much liquid inside of them, and you know, that basically just melts it down, so to speak. But yeah, it should be nice and smooth. I really want to try one out, but they're still too hot. Patience. My right ear started ringing. Hopefully that's not my tinnitus getting worse. Alright, let me get a wire rack, please. Muffins. There we go. Go ahead. Let me get my other oven glove. Here we go. Magnificent. I do have some raspberries in my fridge. It's tempting to use those to make muffins. I think you should be able to just straight up substitute those out, yeah. I imagine you probably have to chop them up a bit with that. That's just my guess though. I've never made raspberry muffins. I've never even heard of raspberry muffins actually, funnily enough. Loosen the edges from the pan. Transfer them to a rack. A rack, not Iraq. See if I can wiggle one around a bit. And get into the edges here. Okay, that one's loose, that one's loose. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a bit longer. I'm testing fate here a bit by moving these around. If we do it while it's still too hot, you know, they can just end up basically just twisting apart easily. It looks so good. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, they're a success, I believe. Unless something's gone horrible in the middle that I haven't seen yet, but you know, they're a success. And yeah, if you do want to make some of these yourself, like I said, I will share the recipe, and I would really love to see any of the efforts that you all put into it. These are really, really easy. Funnily enough, the recipe says that the prep should be 8 minutes, but I took like an hour on it because I am heavily distracted by talking to an audience. But hey, that's just how it goes. That's why, even though I'd really love to make something like macarons one day on stream, I'm pretty sure it would take me way too long, because macaron is pretty long prep time. And I guess like the rule of thumb is like times it by 3, but who knows. Might not be until next week, but I definitely want to make them. Yeah, I absolutely, you know, whenever you do it, I look forward to seeing them. But I'm going to take another quick break. I just need to use the bathroom real quick. Shouldn't be too long. But yeah, hopefully by the time that I'm back, should be able to take one of them out at least. But yeah, I'll be right back. All right. Excuse me. Do you like the fancy cooking shows and prep stuff in advance? I've actually done that before when I made the cream cheese cookies, because they needed to be put inside the fridge for about 2 hours. I made a batch in advance, so I had them ready for when I needed to put them in the oven. And then we had a lot of cookies after that. No, wait, it wasn't the cream cheese ones. It was the sugar cookies that I did the icing on those. But yeah, but the thing is with macarons, you can't really make those in advance, just because you have to like just keep going with it. And so you can't let it dry out or anything. It's precarious. Plus there's also like humidity factors of it as well. I still think about the cheesecake brownies, they were so good. Yes, I remember you made some of them. Yeah, I'm glad that you liked them. Yeah, the cheesecake brownies, those are a favorite around here. My wife loves them. Her parents, they were huge fans too. And yes, I am indeed a fan myself. Let's see. I'm not sure if this one's bonded to it or not. Okay. Trying to be delicate with these because it can be a bit difficult to lift out. Okay. One sec. Here we go. Go. First one. One's much easier. Second. Don't be attached to it. Some of the blueberry has sort of glued itself to the side. There we go. Next one. Easy does it. Yeah, these have turned out very, very nicely. I'll give you a better picture of it soon. How hot is the metal part? Oh, it's really cool actually. I was worried I was going to burn myself, so I was being very precarious. Precarious? Cautious? Is that the right word? I know cautious is right, but can precarious be used? Okay. 6. And 6 more to go. This one looks like it might be a bit jammed. Oop. Don't fall apart. There we go. Whew. Like surgery, except with more skill required. I'm gonna try a bit of this crust. Sugar. This one might be stuck on quite a bit. Let me... see. Yeah, the guy with the leaf blower cleaned it up earlier. Thank God. We had a bunch of nuts outside because we've been feeding the squirrels recently. So I put some sunflower seeds on the porch for them to enjoy. But turns out that squirrels actually are pretty neat when it comes to that kind of stuff. They just open the shell and take the sunflower seed out, but they also leave the seeds container behind. So it was a bit of a damn mess. Also put out some hummingbird food the other day. We have a hummingbird feeder, and they devoured that stuff very quickly, but in the meantime, all the other birds that eat from the feeder next to it decided to take a dump on the hummingbird feeder. It was disgusting. This one might be tricky to take out. This one too. Oh my God. Okay. This one I'm nervous about. Not the end of the world if it can't come out, but let's see. Delicate. There we go. Et voila. All 12. I know what I'm having for breakfast tomorrow. Alright, let's do the phone camera view. 1 second, let me turn some lights on. Okay. Go. Focus. Doesn't look like it. Focus, damn it. Right, 1 second. Wait, my God. Sorry, just trying to get it to focus properly. It looks like it's not going to try. One moment. Let me try something. Okay. Yep, so here we go. Nice sugary crust on the top of them. And all 12 turned out quite nicely. There we go. Oh, now it's focused. Okay. Yeah, anyway. Here we go. That was the most difficult one to take on. And my connection just timed out. Did it? What the fuck? Anyway, yeah, that was the one that was most difficult to take out, but it doesn't look too bad. As you can see, it's got a nice sugary shell on the top of it. They are gorgeous, if I do say so myself. And yeah, let's give one a try. Let me get a plate. Which one? This one. No. Yeah, we'll try this one. While I'm at it, I'll get a picture of the socials and whatnot. Where's it look prettiest? There we go. Okie doke. All right, try a bit. I'm assuming you would like to try some of this? Mm-hmm. All right, let's cut it down. Ooh, that's a lot of filling. That is a lot of filling. Might need less blueberries in it next time. Either that or this one's got all of them. But yeah. You want to take this? That is an absurd amount of blueberries. Probably too many. Okay, bon appetit. Good. Now I'm hungry. Rightfully so. Yeah, these are damn good muffins. I'm not even a huge fan of blueberry muffins, but these ones hit just right. They do get better when they're cooled off, at least in my opinion. But as they are now, really damn good. If you want to, you can also put a tablespoon of lemon zest inside of them, just give them a nice bit of contrast to all the sweetness that's on there. But I think these are perfect as is. The Salari also lucky. She is indeed, in many ways. Oreo pie. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I've used Oreos for was making that cheesecake. I've never made like Oreo-centric kind of stuff. But, you know, I've seen some stuff out. There is actually an Oreo cheesecake, like a, you know, based around the Oreo flavor palette. So that's quite interesting. And the vanilla cherry cake. Yeah, absolutely. I'd be interested in seeing that one. Good. Yeah, the blueberries are a really nice texture. They haven't got too like strong of a skin on them. They're not soured or anything like that. They're very good. But yeah, I am satisfied with those. And I'll share some of these with the in-laws Keep some for ourselves for breakfasts and whatnot. What time is it? 5 o'clock. Okay. Well, that seems like a good time to wrap it up there since we're done. So like I said, I will post this recipe in the Discord later on. I would be very happy to see any of you try these. And if you want to, if you don't want to get blueberries, you can substitute the blueberries for something like chocolate chips if you wanted to. Milk chocolate, dark chocolate, white chocolate is your choice. Or if you wanted to try some other thing like raspberry inside of it, you can do that too. Any kind of berry would generally be fine for it. But try whatever you want. Give it a shot. It's not hard. It's hard to mess up a recipe like this. I know it took me a while, but that's I'm distracted. That's generally why when I bake on here, it does take a lot longer than usual. But yeah, 1 second. Could you pause my Spotify, please? For some reason, it never pauses when I use this thing. Okay. Okay. But anyway, thank you very much for watching today. I know this has been a bit of a low-key stream, but I appreciate you all being here. Go out there and bake. It'll make you feel better, and it will make those in your life that you give your bakes to feel better as well. As I mentioned earlier as well, that there is a new video coming out. If you're a YouTube member, then you will see the posting on the community post section. If you don't know where that is, you can find it on my channel. You should see it on the tabs there. But yeah, it should be up later this evening, if not early tomorrow. But and also if you're a patron as well, you'll see that post too. Join the Discord if you haven't already, although I believe you are all there. And thank you once again for joining this stream. I always enjoy doing baking streams. And next time when I do one, I'll be doing the Madeleines as voted in the competition. The poll. Why did I say competition? I don't know. I'm tired. I need food. This wasn't enough to satiate me. But thank you very much once again. Enjoy the rest of your day, however long that might be. And I will see you next time. Catch you later.